the Fantasy Golf Degenerates podcast, bringing you this week's RSM Classic. It is the last tournament of the fall event, and we are here to send you on your way out with all the best laughs and all the best information with my amazing co-host sitting in his wonderful brown couch, Kenneth Kim. How are you?
Yeah, final event of the year. We might do something for Hero. We'll see. Haven't really spoke on it, but the final real event of the year was a real cut. Real field, so it should be fun. We'll get through 156 golfers, and every day the rounds won't finish, so I'll have to wait for showdown for the next day. Just be prepared, because that's just the way
I sincerely hope not, because they're playing on the two different courses, right? So,
but it's still gonna go over.
That'll be atrocious if that happens. I will be very sad because it fucks up everything.
Happens every year
for us. Not this time round, Kenny. We're gonna will good things into existence. Okay, that's kind of the theme of this show for me, at least. We're gonna will some good shit into existence. Last week for me, classic model maniac stuff. I had Vince Whaley for a top 10 for 3.2 units, which pretty much covered all my other losses. So I won a half a unit because Justin Lower Ladder crapped out. All my outrights sucked it up, but I didn't even really invest too hard in the outright market. The weather didn't even seem to be an edge at all, Kenny. And we saw Adam Schenk come through during a tournament where he putted with one hand at times. Winning a golf tournament with that amount of hesitation and lack of confidence has to be truly one of the best wins. Your first win as well. Thoughts on Adam Schenk breaking through after 200 and something tournaments, Kenny?
Yeah, I thought it was a really fun watch because it wasn't like what we've seen throughout the fall. It must have been like a rude awakening to a bunch of guys who've played like every fall event. To play those easy courses, where you're, trying to shoot 25 under, 26 under to win. And you go to this course and there's barely anyone in double digits under par with 35 mile per hour gusts. Sunday was a lot of fun. That shot that Schenk hit on 17, the second shot on the par 5 17th, where he just hit it 3 feet above the ground and rolled it like 175 yards. So he didn't fuck with the water over there on the left at all. All right. Pretty smart play. And, it's fun seeing golfers use their minds, use a bit of creativity in this age of TPC golf, target golf. It's nice to see events like this, like we saw this past week, where the weather plays a major factor and it really changes the way you play the course. Brings more people with a great mind, with creativity, stuff like that Schenk shot. I don't even think that was creative. That was just holding on for fucking your life. I think, I was like, I am not going to pull this left. The guarantee I don't pull this left. Let me just hit a worm burner down there, nice and easy, 175 yards. And then he fucking stuffed the wedge, right?
He did.
Stuffed the wedge to about 6 feet, missed the putt.
Lipped it out. So it wasn't a bad putt,
But and he was sort of pissed about that. The body language going into 18, I was a little bit worried for him. Because honestly, like, you've been playing well, you should be able to take that mentally out of your head. You're a pro golfer, and I know that's a lot easier said than done. But when he was on the tee box, he was still muttering under his breath. I was like, oh man, this is not gonna be good. This is not gonna be good. Luckily he piped it down the middle. Hit it over the green, hit a tentative little chip to about 5-6 feet that he had to make. And he made it. So that was because, the other two guys, were right on his heels. Chandler Phillips, 11 under. I think what's his face had to birdie 12 also. He what's his name? Kanaya. And I feel bad for Kanaya because of that missed birdie putt on 18. If he made it, he would have finished in second. He would have been 87th in the FedEx Fall standings. He could have skipped this week and still secured his tour card. Instead, he missed that birdie putt, finished in third, and is tied for 99th. Top 100 make it. He's tied for 99th. So he has to play this week. He's definitely on the bubble. A bunch of guys, Bill Hostler, some other guys in the mix on that bubble. I think if you're anywhere inside the top 205 and you win, you get inside the top 100. So still a lot of chances for a lot of golfers to try and secure their card, top 100, their full card for next year.
Yeah, but a win gets you priority status that I think is above the top 100 for 2 years. Max Homer is outside the top 100 right now, and he's eligible to be on the tour until 2028. So he's not too stressed about life, which, when you're making big swing changes and things like that, if you've played well enough to know you can have 2 years away from tour while you just work on some stuff potentially to make you like a legend long term, I'm all for it. Now, I probably imagine that's got more to do with Max being a dad, because his entire play. Anyway, Max Homer, not to be chatted about on this one. Vince Whaley coming through big time, Kenny. Now, since the Valero, he hasn't missed a cut. I think it's now 20. Is it 18 now? It's a absurd streak of made cuts.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of have to click him in cash, right? I mean, he's in my cash lineup for this week. He's had a couple of good finishes here too at the RSM Classic. But he was solid for cash for me. I power in cash. Kuchar didn't do that great, and Rogers missed a cut and fucked. So I had a couple of top 10s in my cornerstones, but I had Rogers and lower, and I missed out. I was like 51st out of 100, and I need to be in the top 50. I was right on the edge. Even with 4 of 6, I hit one of my cash lineups. It was the $5 cheap one. So it wasn't that great. I missed out on the $100 double up by a few points. So that was pretty shitty. I think I just went a little bit overboard. I probably should have went Nico over Rogers as a safer play, but whatever. Nico didn't play that well, but at least he made the cut. 5 out of 6 would have gotten me cash and would have won my money back. And then outrights are just horrible. I think like 5 of the 7 didn't make the cut. Threw in like a Doug Gim and a Seamus Power live, and I was over my budget trying to get that 7th win. So not the great week, but that's the way it's gonna be, especially the way I go.
I respect that hustle, Kenny. Yeah, chasing another win is awesome.
Yeah, the way I go about it nowadays, with DFS, I know that there's going to be stretches of bad weeks. It's my cash line. I'm just going to have to really, really hold on so I can win some of my money back. And it hasn't really been I've had good finishes in my cornerstone that just couldn't get the right mix. I'm hovering around 50% in cash, winnings for this season. Yeah. So it's not
a couple of those cash lineups have cashed some GPPs for you, Kenny.
Oh, I mean,
it's kind of the opposite way around right now for you.
Yeah, the one last week was finished second in the $44 out in my cash lineup. But we got one event left. We're gonna try and get it done. I mean, it wasn't just here on this side of the pond. Across the pond at the DP World Tour Finals, finished off, and Fitzpatrick took down Rory in a playoff. That was a pretty fun watch. If you looked at the leaderboard, it was basically the entire Ryder Cup team in the top 10.
It's loaded.
Pretty impressive stuff by that Ryder Cup team. Afterwards, Hatton was up there. Bobby Mack was in the top 10. Fleetwood was up there, had a chance. So those guys are playing strong. And of course, we got the 10 guys that are going to make it on the tour from the European Tour. Marco Penge or Penge is how you pronounce it. We're gonna have to remember that it's Penge. He looks like the cream of the crop coming in here with his long drive and the solid form. I think he can make some noise. And then of course we had the Annika on the LPGA Tour with Caitlin Clark going out there. Caitlin Clark, of course, a freaking god over there in Iowa, in your neck of the woods. When we went to Iowa, me and Mike visited Byron. They were playing Iowa. They were playing WNBA games instead of NFL. Like instead of Thursday Night Football, there was a WNBA playoffs. So I know your neck of the woods.
Yeah. It was cool because that's what Caitlin Clark is there from.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. She was there. So we kind of have, and of course, Kai Trump, who went out there, a little bit of controversy about her getting a sponsor's exemption. But I mean, the tournament seemed like it got a lot more juice than normal. I think it was because it came in.
Absolutely.
That's what
the thing.
That's what the sponsors want.
Yeah, like Grant Horvat, like turning it down. I get it because he wanted to record it, but Kai Trump, like, she's gonna do a recap of this stuff, and all of her millions of followers or whatever are gonna see golf, and she's gonna be reaching a whole different demographic. The potential like change she has on golf is only gonna be in like 10 years time, maybe 5 years time, once
if
the people that kind of like follow her.
But that 2 over on Friday was pretty strong.
Yeah, but she's not going to be a professional, Kenny. She's going to be a content creator.
Oh, like a content creator?
Yeah. And that what we've realized is with transitioning into the Internet Invitational, it's highly polarizing with, even if you're not that good at golf. And I thought that I've watched a lot. I think I watched it all since our last show. So the final episodes dropped, I think, this last week, and we won't tell you who won or anything if you want to go watch it all, but it was
it's
highly entertaining.
5 days. It was pretty fun. That the way they did the final round was it was a lot of controversy, some cheating. I don't know what the fuck Paige is doing out there. Whereas she's a D1 golfer, Paige Spiranac. Everyone knows Big Titty Paige. She's out there and she stomps on the grass behind the ball to give her teammate a better lie. I mean, people do a lot of crazy stuff when it comes to a lot of money, right? I mean, put myself in that situation when I'm playing for $333,000. I don't think I'll cheat, but I mean, I've never had to play for that amount of money before in my life. I don't know. I don't think I would, but I had never been in that situation before. So I'm not really sure. And then
there's
we have
cameras everywhere. Like, if you know you're cheating, you're going to get caught. That's just, there's more cameras at one of these things than a PGA Tour event. Like someone's recording a phone somewhere or whatever. Like,
Molosi didn't get caught with his rangefinder. I mean, he didn't get caught with that. I don't know if it was really on or not. The people did some testing on the video about that, and it looked like his slope was off. The button was off, but who knows? I mean, it was like, I remember he was on a tee box a couple of holes before the controversy started, and he was like, it's like 187, probably playing 176, right? And like just coming up with that number like out of the blue. I mean, maybe he really thought that that's what it was with the slope, or he had the slope on his rangefinder. And then Frankie, of course, on 18, the big nemesis. I didn't know. I don't watch any YouTube golf. This was the first time I've watched any of it, and it was so well done by Barstool. What it reminded me of was the Big Break, but instead of like little challenges and stuff like that, it was actually playing real golf, right? And going out there, Frankie, of course, sculling that. I have no idea what he was trying to do there. I don't know if he was trying to get it up in the air. Like, why not? Like, you were trying. I've been doing what you've been telling me. Clubbing up and trying to get the ball down on the ground as soon as possible. Get a hybrid out there, or a 5 would choke down, throw down, and do a putting stroke at that point in time. Like, at least give yourself a chance to try and make a putt of some sort and have the other team 2-putt or 3-putt or whatever, which can happen in a high stress situation that these people were facing, which they normally do not face, right? Just get it on the green and give yourself a chance, all right? And to do what he did, man, that was just brutal. Again, these guys aren't pros, so it's sort of fun to watch how the pressure can really eat at people. It was especially like the semis, or the one that they played in the par 3 course. That par 3 course was diabolical. Like the way it was like Augusta on crack, right? The way the greens were sloping, right? And how fast the greens were. Like, it was crazy. Like, you're barely tapping in a 4-footer and roll 6 feet by. And to have that type of pressure, it was a lot of fun to watch. And again, I am not a YouTube golf guy. I'm not even really a Barstool guy. I don't listen to any of I know who they are, but I don't listen or watch any of their programming. They did an excellent fucking job. Whoever edited it and produced it the whole time, it was great. And of course, Beef was on the winning team. Sad that he passed away. To have that happen. Dalkey is basically the best golfer in YouTube. I mean, the guy is incredible, hitting shots that 99% of the guys that do what he's doing cannot even fathom doing. So he definitely has an edge there. But Beef was by far the worst guy left of the 6. So I think it even now. I was shocked at Francis. Francis is a stick. That kid can play. I've seen some of his stuff because he does funny stuff where he'll eat like crazy shit in the middle of lunch break in the Barstool offices. Like I've seen him eat like a seafood tower with like lobster. The ice is all there, the oysters. Last week he ate a whole roasted pig. Just brought the whole roasted pig, put the bitch on his desk, and it just started eating it right in the middle of lunch. So I watched some of those. I find him funny. That really passive aggressive, type of guy. I find him funny, and the guy can really play.
He was my net MVP. Dalkey, obviously the MVP, the best player on the team. But my net MVP, who I think... Now, it turns out that Francis is like a 5 or 4 handicap.
He's a 5. Yeah, he's a 5.
I mean, he played like he's probably a 12 at times. And then there were moments where he was like scratch approach player.
I've seen 5 shooting now, mid-80s, high 80s. I mean,
I could be a 5 myself.
When it comes to handicap, it's just like your 6 or your 8 top scores are the only ones that count. So you can shoot, 77, 78, 79, 5, 6, 7 times, and then shoot 90 the other 12 rounds, and you're still a 5.
Yeah. And he was sensational. I mean, he hit so many shots. Even before the final, he kind of sucked it up in the final. But I mean, I think everyone was just so gassed, right? Because that would be their 4th round.
Yeah.
Under intense pressure. This is intense pressure. Like you're playing
experience in their lives. Not even close. Not once.
Yeah.
Maybe Brad at the Masters. But even then, like it's not even like he made it. Like the goal was to get to the Masters, not like win the Masters, right? Right.
Yeah.
So he made it there. Like the pressure, like I was feeling it with these guys, especially on that par 3. That par 3 was crazy.
That par 3 course took the life of my goat, my guy from the Internet Invitational, DOD King, driver off the deck king. You've seen me hit drive off the deck, Kenny. I could probably be, in all honesty, I think I should be DOD King, because if I'm DOD King and there's a long drive hole, I'm taking driver and hitting it off the deck. He took 3-wood on a long drive hole. Like, your whole name is driver off the deck, which for those of you that don't understand that terminology, it means you're not using any tees. You're teeing it up off the grass, Then you're whipping out a 3-wood so you can do whatever you need to do on a long drive hole. Like, got to figure out the follow through on the brand there. But he, to me, I was discussing this with you before I watched, was the whole character, like the content creator side of it, the shtick that everyone kind of gloms onto as their personality. I could tell he wasn't like this. He reminded me of the guy from, was it one of the Scary Movies or something? He's like, don't be hating, like he's like wearing his hat like sideways like this. He's like, run, bitch, he gonna kill you. Like, I think I just saw him being that guy's son playing YouTube golf now. And the more excited he got, the more like ghetto his accent would become. Like he was just cinema to me. And then he was melted down on that par 3, could not make a single putt, and you
the
could
last
see it.
Day, I mean, he sucked. My favorite character was Chaz. Like that guy, if you guys didn't watch, he's a midget. He's like 4'4", out there striping like 270, right? And they're like,
he's got a cute little swing.
Low to the ground. His swing plane never gets fucked up, right? I think it's a Frankie
doesn't have a swing plane. Yeah.
But, yeah,
he doesn't have a swing plane.
So consistent. I hated seeing him go down at the end, but his partner really, the chick, I forget her name, Sarah. She really
Sarah
melted.
Winter.
She fucking melted. If you want to see people melt the fuck down under pressure, like if you enjoy watching that, this is for you. Because these people, I mean, they were playing, and then next year I hear $5 million top prize. It's just gonna ratchet up the pressure with
and
it.
Portnoy already mentioned Caitlin Clark's going to be in it, and that's going to all of Indiana Fever fans, and you know they're going to be watching that. My emotional MVP for the show was Josh Richards, the handsome-looking Instagram TikTok model. We had to start off his partner with the Duke, and I love the Duke. For the first 5 minutes, he was on my screen, and before he even teed off, I was like over him, you know. And then it just gets worse and worse. He doesn't know how to read the room, you know. He just it's like a teleprompter that he just never stops reading from. There's no stop. But he had to be with the Duke, who was also smoking out of a pipe right next to him. Then he had Beef, who, you know, RIP, just on that day was like super hot. And you got to sit next to a massive man like that in the cart on a hot ass. I mean, Mike knows. You guys know. You sat next to me. I'm not quite beefy, but it's intense, you know. And then the third round that Josh was part of, he had my boy, DOD King, as his partner. And Josh was just hitting the vape, and then DOD King's like, "Hey, can I take a rip of that?" And Josh, without even like contemplate, it was almost instantaneous. He's like, "Yes, man, anytime you want, let me know." And then that's when DOD's entire putting situation just
they had the guy with one fucking arm out there balling the fuck out. He had a little like connection that he like hooked up to his stump, right? And then like it connected to his golf club. He had a pretty swing. Motherfucker had one hand. Better swing than me.
One hand. Absolutely. You can just see he's like staying on plane because that lead arm is just kind of just doing all the work, obviously. But it kind of reminded me of like a sniper reloading every time you'd like get up there, because you'd have to like hold down the shaft to get to get it on so that it could clip on, and then he'd like slide it back in. It would like clip in, and then you'd like swivel it a little bit to get it like on cue, you know, to make sure the angles were good. It was incredible. We saw that. I mean, we saw all these more chicks on these YouTube shows, you know, like we don't get to watch enough LPGA.
That girl Lacey, she took J.R. Smith's spot. J.R. Smith was supposed to be there, but he couldn't make it. And so Dave just was like, "Do you play golf?" She was like a server at the bar in the clubhouse, right?
Yes.
She was like a bartender at the club. Like, "You're hot. Do you play golf?" And she was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, what's your handicap?" She's like, "I'm like a 7." Like, "Oh, you want to play?" Sure. She made it to the freaking semifinals, like the second to last day, right?
Yeah.
Now she's on all these Barstool shows.
All the shows.
It's
almost like the Haktua chick, but just Barstool invitational situation, you know, from out of nowhere.
I'm looking. Like, here's the thing: Byron and I are not YouTube. I mean, Byron watches it. I don't watch any YouTube golf content. Byron does, but not much. And you know, he wasn't thinking about watching this at all, so I sort of pushed it on him after watching it because I was thoroughly enamored. I enjoyed it immensely. If you're having like second thoughts, like, you know, I didn't think I was going to like this. I'm an old, haggard, you know, golf fan that's, you know, over the age of 45, right? And not many of us are going to want to think about the Internet Invitational, but go out and watch it. It was a lot of fun to watch. I enjoyed it immensely. And the numbers it's doing is crazy. Like 25 million views or some shit like that. I mean, it's crazy, crazy numbers.
Yeah. No, it's truly incredible. And I want to shout out the structure of the tournament. I thought when you have 48 people there, it's difficult to figure out exactly how you want to be rocking and rolling with partners and things like that. So they drafted these people, and I thought that was a fantastic idea because that way it's up to the captains. This is like team bonding, Kenny. Liv needs to take a page out of Barstool. They've got their 54 guys or whatever, not playing 54 holes anymore, but they've got their 50-something guys. They should be doing like a draft almost every tournament kind of thing. It creates way more energy, and I loved how that you'd have to pair them up to win as a team. You know, like that way you got to really lean on your best player, potentially partnering him with a dud in 4-ball, you know, which we've spoken about for Ryder Cups. You play your best guy with the worst guy. Anything can happen. But then alternate shots is when that pressure really ramps up. And I thought that was fantastic combinations of the both. And then you get half the field out the way, then you do it again. It was
like,
really good.
So many like 10-foot putts gone like 4 feet past the hole. Like, it's so much. And when you're playing alt shot for that much money and you're not like a pro, you're a 10 handicap, you're an 8 handicap, those 4-footers are fucking scary as shit. Like, I had one a couple weeks ago when I played on 18. I had a 4-footer for bogey that I had to make for like a couple $100, and I was fucking sweating. These guys are playing for $1 million. So yeah, it was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed the Internet Invitational. I'm looking forward to it next year.
Me too. I can't wait. It was fun. I would suggest you guys go and watch it. Another thing that happened to me in my life this week, I played my pool tournament. You know, you guys kind of met a couple of people that were in the league. Adam ultimately made it into the final and just withered under pressure. So first of all, watching him, he was easily the best player in the building, not the best pool like producer. You know, like the output didn't result what was put in from Adam. You know, and I think there are golfers like that out on tour who, like Alex Smalley is exactly like that, where you got all the skill set, but the moment it matters, Alex Smalley is not going to hit the hole from like anywhere outside of 6 feet. And this was the same with Adam, right?
10 under with a few holes left.
Alex Smalley could have been in the playoff, man. Like, very easily. And the putts he missed were like Sunday afternoon putts that just like.
It wasn't just him. Like, if you watch that back nine, there was a lot of people like, 11. Everybody folded. The weather, and then all these guys, like 10 of the 13 guys on the top of the leaderboard, were outside the top 100 going into Sunday. Like, people were withering under the pressure. So even the pros feel it like that. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was. And even in the pool league, man, like this is Dallas Center pool league. Okay, we were playing for like $200 maybe. And I made it through the first round. It was double elimination. Then I lost to the guy that made it to the semis in the next round. So he kicked me out of the winner's bracket. I went into the loser's bracket and made it all the way to like the 5th round. And by then we'd been drinking since 1 o'clock, and it took a while to get to the 5th round. And I'm feeling pretty good about myself. And I go up against one of the alpha males, like that 52-year-old guy that's like still pretty jacked. He's wearing like an old school like AC/DC t-shirt that he's tucked into his jeans. Like he's that guy. He's always like a financial analyst kind of dude. Got this fancy ass, nice ass stick that's got like a blue tinge to it, hits it with a lot of power, that kind of guy. Anyway, we get to a shot where he's trying to sink the 8 ball, but my ball's slightly in the way of the ball going into the hole. In this league, you have to hit the cushion if you're playing like a safe, like snooker, sneaky shot, right? You have to hit a cushion with the object ball, not the white. You have to hit it with the ball that you're making contact with. He claims that he was going for the hole, but I saw that you couldn't make it in because the ball was in the way, but his ball never touched the cushion. So I thought that I had the ball in my possession then, ball in hand, because you didn't make it, and you also didn't even try to hit the cushion. And I used the phrase, we both know you weren't going to make that. And then he said, so you questioning my integrity now? He had to leave the room. He had to leave the pub to go stand outside to cool down because I wanted to make it through, man. I was like on a bit of a heater, and this guy's like really fucking bending the rules around a little bit. But I'm also not going to say, yes, I am questioning your integrity, because that would have put it over the line. So I kind of just decided I'm going to chill out. I lost that match. Next one I'm breaking. I go on and I sink 6 balls in a row. Like after the break, going to do this thing. I miss like one of the final colors. And he's like, so can I have my stick back? I fucking grabbed his stick by accident without even paying attention.
It's the alpha move right there.
Oh, yeah. Yes, dude. And I played the best pool I played all night for those 6 balls. Just holding his stick in front of him, man. It was just like incredible
Get a
stuff. It was
stick. I
such
mean,
a passive
you
flex.
get a nice stick is a couple $100 or less. You can get a good one for like
I'm going
$80, $120.
Yeah. I was playing with the pub's pools, cues, and somehow grabbed one and just rubbed it in his face the entire time. It was just so good. It was such a great ending. Ultimately, we became friends, like I could see where things were going to be escalated and I had to give in, So I put the ball back where it was originally and I lost that match. But I figured that would be a fun little story to mention some pool league action there.
Yeah, we're pretty the opposite when it comes to that, especially when we have drinks. I mean, a couple weeks ago, I told you I went out with my buddies and we had that crazy night, day, whatever. But at the end of the round, honestly, we were playing slow as fuck. We were playing slow. We were playing. We had a lot, but the thing is, we were still, at least within eyesight of the group in front of us. They never got over a hole in front of us. Like when we got onto the tee box, they would be on the green, right?
Yeah,
and stuff like
fine.
that. So definitely we were playing a little bit slow. But this guy came up on 18. He's like, you guys are playing fucking slow as shit. Blah, blah. And I went off on him. I was like, fuck you. And look at the people that are sitting right fucking there. Just went off on him. And all his, like my boys had to calm me down. His boys had to calm his down. And he shut the fuck up because, whoever's loudest and angriest usually wins in that type of situation. Again, you sort of got to play it the right way. This guy was like a 5'7" Asian dude, right? He's like, I could probably take him. If he was like 6'4", 240, I'd be like, yeah, you're right, man. Let me speed up a little bit, though. Let me speed up a little bit. My bad, right? That's what I would have done. But this guy was a little.
So we had some Asian on Asian hate, Kenny.
Asian on Asian hate, right? Because they never saw the groups in front of us. Right. And so they just thought because we were always on the tee box and they were on the green. That's usually how it worked. So we are playing like a half hole behind, basically, is what it comes down to. And I was like, dude, do you see those motherfuckers on the green? I'm driving the green on this hole. Dude, I'm going to hit fucking into them. And of course, I didn't drive the green. I was like, fuck you. I'm not going to use it. And I hit a little 5-wood, onto the fairway. But he's like, I could have. So fuck you. It's 270. They're on the green. I'm waiting. And so he went off. And then his boys were like, dude, he was telling him to calm down because, I mean, like, we were playing slow, but it wasn't that slow. And I was drunk as shit. And so I was louder and more angrier, so I won the fight.
Yes. I think it's truly one of your best skill sets, Kenny, is being loud plus something else. So something else that would usually also win a conversation or argument. You've just got the loud factor and unwavering will. I do believe when you really believe in something, man, there's no way anyone's going to change.
The motherfucker wasn't wrong.
That guy had no chance.
I ain't gonna lie. We were playing slow.
Yeah, but you gotta.
But fuck that dude. Anyways,
fuck that dude. Who is going to fuck us over this week at the RSM Classic? Kenny Kim, hit us with this week's course preview for the Sea Island venues we will be playing this week.
PGA Tour heads to St. Simons Island, Georgia. Last event of the 2025 calendar year, unless you count the Hero. Golfers are going to be playing each of the first 2 rounds on a different course, and then finish weekend on the Seaside course. So the Seaside and Plantation. Tour does this so it can fit 156 golfers in the field. We're still going to wait, I'm sure. The rounds will not finish the first 2 days. I could probably guarantee that. Because that's just the way it is. I don't know. Not that much wind, right? Now, here's the thing. Sea Island is home to many tour players, right? Zach Johnson, Kuchar, Harris English, Pat Kazire, Brian Harmon, JT Poston, Chris Kirk owns a home here. Kevin Kisner owns a home here. They've both won here. Prior to like 2017, 2018, that Sea Island Mafia, they really haven't done that great, right? But since like 2018, 2019, they've been sort of strong, right? You've seen like good play from ZJ, Kirk, Kisner, Harmon. They've had like 9 or 10 top 8 finishes since 2019 combined. JT Poston had like a 15th place finish. Harris English had a good finish a few years ago. So lately, the Sea Island Mafia has been doing a little bit better. I'm not going to look too much into that this week as any type of narrative. I don't think it makes that big of a deal. Also, they play the SEC championship here. So a lot of guys who play college golf in the SEC are familiar with this course. Weather, of course, is usually a large factor. I think last year the winning score was like in the mid-teens, -15, -14, something like that. It was pretty windy conditions. This 2 years ago when Oberg won, he won at -29, right? So again, it's going to be like a huge difference. So, sort of like we saw last week, where if the wind is up, it's going to play tough. If the wind is down, it's going to be a birdie fest. And it looks like the wind is down this week, and there's not going to be too much defense of the course. So you're looking at like, mid-20s under par, probably going to win this event unless the wind changes. And it is Monday at 6 o'clock. The weather can change. But if what we're seeing right now with the light winds, under 10 miles per hour every day, is really the case, you're going to see some low scores. You're going to need a lot of birdies, basically, is what it's going to come down to. I would definitely look at the golfers in a plantation course for any type of showdown because there's more par fives, more birdie chances. So that's something that you could think of when you're looking at like game theory, gameplay when you go into DFS. I never play showdown. I played Sunday because I just had extra money in my account and stuff like that, and I just played the $25. I was in 8th place with like all the golfers going into the back nine. Maybe even less, with like maybe like 6 holes left, 5 holes left by the leader. I was in 8th place, and then shit. Everyone shit the bed. The last 5 or 6 holes.
Final couple holes,
everyone shit the bed. The last 5 or 6 holes. I think I finished in like 50th. So that sucks. I think I still want some money.
On the showdown side there, I just want to mention real quick, I do think with the wind being down, I want to go run the numbers real quick and see as well after the show. But I think I'm willing to take some of the best guys going on the seaside course in showdown, the really good players who can also just dismantle that course. I think it's way more difficult with, significantly less ownership on those guys for sure, because they're playing the more difficult course.
With the easy
conditions to play.
I like this. I like
Seaside plays much more difficult in the wind, which they typically have there. With no wind this week.
Of course, right on the water. So, yeah.
So,
I do like that. Like I said, the 70% of fairways are hit here, 75% of greens are hit here, and that's even with windy conditions, right? So you're looking at like 80% for both, probably this week. So usually when the numbers are like that, it becomes a putting contest. Who putts the best on Bermuda? Correlated courses, Harbor Town, YLI, short side, short coastal tracks. 7 of the last 15 winners, or 8 of the last 15 winners at Sea Island have had a top 5 or better on either Sony or Heritage at some point in their careers, right? So that's something to look at when it comes down to another seaside course. The seaside course at Sea Island Golf Club, 7,005 yard, par 74, par 3s, 2 par 5s. In dry conditions, both par 5s should be reachable by a lot of golfers in the field as long as the wind is not blowing directly in their face. The course is a traditional link-style course, with the ocean breeze normally playing a big factor. Off the tee, golfers are going to see average-sized fairways that actually get more narrow as golfers get closer to the hole. This leads to a lot of golfers using less than driver off the tee. Nearly 70% of fairways have been hit here over the years, so the numbers back up the fact that this is a less than driver course. The rough around the fairways is fairly tall and thick, but the course is so short, it shouldn't present too many issues as long as golfers have a short iron in their hands. A lot of shots from 100 to 150 is what you're going to see. If golfers miss the fairway, they're going to have to deal with bunkers, marshland, seaside vegetation, sandy native areas, and plenty of water. The fairways themselves are rolling and hilly and should stay firm. On approach shots, golfers are going to see large overseeded Bermuda grass greens stimp around 11.5. Most of the greens are elevated and have a good amount of slope and undulation. Greenside bunkers guard the putting surface, and the rough is usually a lot thicker than they are around the fairways. The plantation course is only going to play once, 7,058 yard par 72, 4 par 5s, 4 par 3s. All the par 5s reachable, none longer than 560 yards. The course went through a bit of a redesign a few years ago, bunkers being removed, the grass on the greens being replaced. This, along with the wind, has made this course play a little bit tougher. But again, we're not going to see the wind. You're going to have those 4 reachable par 4-5s. So technically, you should have more birdie chances at this. But I do like the way Byron's thinking. If the conditions are going to be easy on the seaside, a lot of people think the way I think already because of past years playing this event in DFS when it comes to showdown, right? They're going to play the plantation, right? The seaside course is always under-owned. This might be the year to go into that seaside and pick the top guys, like you're saying, to get that lower ownership and still have a chance at making a whole bunch of birdies. There's a lot more bunkers compared to seaside, and water is going to be a factor, just like his sister course. Large trees should shield the course a bit from the wind. The fairways are relatively flat, but they should have a good amount of roll on them if conditions are dry. On approach shots, golfers are going to see much smaller greens compared to seaside, a lot more bunkers guarding the greens. The greens are overseeded Bermuda grass, similar stem rating, around 11.5 as the seaside. What are you looking for in golfers this week?
I am looking for golfers. We are, first of all, checking boxes for me in the micro model, showing you that on the screen right now. This is available to you guys over at my Patreon, link in the description below. Use code FGD50 to get yourself 50% off your first month. By the way, annual subscribers to my Patreon is going to get the Dog Dominator for free. Part of that package. You don't have to go buy it. It's a $50 product, which basically the winner of this year's contest used to basically get his way through. He didn't actually have it, but he used all of the stuff that me and Pat were saying on all the shows using that. I use that to say the shit I did on the shows. So get yourself the Dog Dominator if you just want that. If you don't do the betting things in the DFS, go ahead and do it. I can't believe that I've been saying all this without showing my face. So maybe Mike can overlay that for me, but also don't worry about it. Here's what the model looks like. These are my top 10 guys for this week in course fit rankings. Michael Brennan is kind of breaking the model right now because we've got a bit of small sample size stuff. So he's fucking that up. But looking at Harris English, that makes tons of sense. Number 1 in DK pricing. Chris Kirk is number 2. Jake Knapp, Pearson Coody, Michael Thorbjornsson, Chad Ramey, Rico Hoey, Thorbjorn Ollison, and Brian Harmon. A lot of guys who kind of make sense to play well here too. So you got the course fit, and then we can go over to course history over here and take a peek at guys with great course history. Now, this isn't weighted. If I want the weighted course history, you can go over here, find it in the even more detailed stuff, and you filter by adjusted strokes gained. So if you don't have multiple rounds here, you need at least 4 rounds to get every single stroke that you earned. I'm looking for at least 4, and Mackenzie Hughes ranks the best in both strokes gained for both courses. He's gaining over 3 strokes per freaking round on both courses. I remember Mackenzie Hughes, I bet him last year, and he gained more strokes than anyone in the field and still lost the tournament because they were playing separate courses. So that's just the fun of betting on this stuff. So if we're looking for guys, if you're looking for some showdown, there's a little showdown cheat sheet for you. Yeah, are the best golfers on the seaside course. Strokes gained down the back here. Mackenzie Hughes, Seamus Powers, Adam Svensson, Sahith Theegala, Grayson Sigg, Tom Hoge, who's been struggling. Joel Damon's outside the top 100 in FedEx Cup points. Are going to be very interesting to watch him this week. I think his status ends this year as well. Luke List over there, Eric Cole. I know Eric Cole might be someone Kenny speaks about again this week. We don't know. And then Taylor Moore rounding that out. If we're looking for some plantation course options, the one time they only play there, the one time of the 4 rounds, here are your guys. Obviously, Mackenzie Hughes, numero uno. Austin Eckroat, Lee Hodges, Eric Cole, Keith Mitchell, Harry Higgs, sneaky $6,400 option in Showdown. If you're looking for some Sea Island plantation course leverage, Vince Whaley, Alex Smalley, Michael Thorbjornsson in the 1 round. He gained 7 fucking strokes. So that's quite something over there. If we're looking for, now I don't typically do this, the whole sequence of the micro model is to develop a golfer's own proximity bucket, because we always use, okay, what you're going to see here is a lot of shots from 100 to 150. That's not necessarily the case. It can be a 50-yard difference between Michael Thorbjornsson and Adam Svensson off the tee. So they're going to be hitting from different proximity buckets. So you want to make sure that you are incorporating the person's distance to give him an accurate micro approach bucket to go from, one that makes sense for him, the way he drives the golf ball. So Harris English is the guy at the top here that I'm showing you guys. Fourth in the strokes gained total over there. You can check all that stuff out. But what I want to highlight are all these green boxes over here on approach yardage. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those shots, you're not going to be hitting more than a 9-iron into those greens. And these guys dial it in with 9-irons. I mean, if you're looking at these green regulation rates, yes, 84, 85, 84, like 88% on some of these holes projected green regulation rates. So that's going to be well up there. And then if you are going to just want to look at a couple guys from that proximity bucket, here it is over here in column AV. Chris Kirk, number 1 in that model for this field. This is in all of golf. These are the rankings for these guys. So if you're inside the top 50 in this, without all the good guys here, you're going to be quite up there. So we've got a couple other guys called Doc Redman, small sample size. Matt Kuchar, fantastic with wedges, obviously. Grayson Sigg, Kevin Streelman, Scott Piercy, Tom Hoagie, Benny Ahn, Camilo Villegas, Austin Cook, and Patton Kazaya, all guys that sit inside the top 30 there in that department. So a lot of screen sharing, a lot of boxes. Figured I'd share with you guys. This is what you can find when you are part of the Model Maniac Patreon subscribers over there. Again, the Dog Dominator will be available to you guys for free if you are annual subs over there. Also, the sub gives you enough discount that it's only 10 months that you're paying for out of the year. So it's a great, great value if I do say so myself. Kenny Kim, let's get back to some kickback golf bets. But before we do that, got to rep our guys over there with amazing baseball and basketball jerseys that have our golfers, our favorite golfers' names on them and their alma mater. There's different numbers on there. John Daly's, obviously, Razorback 69. We've got guys with their lowest round on tour. We've got major jerseys that have the final 2 numbers of the year that they won that major in. I had the Scotty Scheffler ones. They are badass. So go check that out. Use code FGD15 to get yourself 15% back over there. Christmas is coming. Buy them jerseys to keep your friends and family warm. All right, Kendo VT, hit us with the winning bets for this week's RSM Classic.
First one's going to be Michael Thorbjornsen, 35-1 with 3 places. We've seen 2 breakout guys, breakout stars, get their main win here the last couple of years with Mav last year, Oberg the year before. I think, Thorpe can maybe make that 3 for 3. Iron game strong, makes a ton of birdies, had a taste of success here last year with a top 10. So I do like Thorpe, 35-1 with 3 places. Next, it's going to be Vince Whaley, 33-1 with 8 places. Strong fall with all made cuts, couple of top 10s, couple of top 15s here the last 2 years. Looks to be on the verge, has been playing really well, makes a shit ton of cuts, is going to be around on the weekend, and that's important, right? So I do like Whaley, 33-1. Eric Cole, 55-1, 8 places. Ranks number 5 in my model in easy scoring conditions. Iron game has been fire, gained almost 10 strokes with his irons in his last 2 events. Made all his cuts here with a couple of top 20s the last couple of years. Seamus Power, short course, coastal, guy. We saw last week he was in contention. He sort of fell down the wayside on the back 9, but so did a lot of guys. This one might be a little bit different because it is a lower scoring contest than what we saw last week, even though it is coastal, but he still comes in, I think 9th in my model in easy scoring conditions. So he can still play well in these type of conditions. Top 10, of course, last week in Bermuda. So I like him at 60-1. A couple of flyers that probably won't get talked up too much. I like Doug Gim, 60-1 with 8 places this week. Showed a little bit of life last weekend. He comes in at number 3 in my model in easy scoring conditions, and I went back 50 rounds for that one. His ball striking is it's as consistent as you can get. Short game's always been the big bugaboo, but he should be missing too many greens with the light wind conditions. And we actually saw a little bit of an uptick in his putting. I think it was like Friday or Saturday, and then on the final day he showed a little bit of decent putting. Inside like the top 25 in putts per green in regulation. I mean, I know it's not the best stat, but there wasn't really any SG numbers out there. So he looked like that improved. Again, the guy's ball striking is so good. At some point in time, he's going to break out, I would expect. And I think the way he was putting last week, I sort of liked what I saw. So I'm going to go Seaweed Doug. I like Patrick Fishburne, 90-1 with 8 places. Ball striking has been very good since the end of the regular season. Last time he putted on Bermuda was at the Wyndham, and he gained 6 strokes with his putter at the Wyndham over there. Again, his numbers look good. He's top 5 in my model. So I do like him at 90-1. And I'm going Frankie Sappin. I got him 400-1 win only last night on DraftKings. I got him 160-1 with 8 places this morning. Couple of top finishes, like top 6 finishes in 2 of his last 3 events. The number's too high for a guy with 2 top 6s, in the last 3 events. And you get 400. I mean, I don't know what it is now, but last night it was 400-1. I was like, just let me put $10 on and see if I can win 4,000. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, just let me throw that in
300-1 out there still.
It's still, I would definitely still take 300-1. And I took the places at 160-1, which is paying 1/5. So it would be 32-1 for 8. It's 16-1 for top 10. That's why I did that. I was thinking maybe I'd do a top 10, but then 16-1 for that, or 32-1 for top 8.
More places.
I'm going to go ahead and take the top 8. And just in case,
when you finish as 9th, it's going to be brutal for you.
You get the double win, right? You get the double win. So that's what I'm going with. So, it's a pretty large card, but I still have room left to go. I still have some, so I might save that for live betting. But Thorbjornsen, 35-1, 3 places. Whaley, 33-1, 8 places. Cole, 55-1, 8 places. Power, 60-1, 8 places. Gim, 60-1, 8 places. Fishburne, 90-1, 8 places. Sappin, 400-1 win only, 160-1, 8 places.
I'm going to join you on the Frankie Sappin. It's a no-brainer bet at that price, given that smidgen of form. Literally, it's less than a 1% chance it happens, but I think there's probably more of a percent chance it does happen than the odds represent. So I'm all in on that. And who also was out there with a pretty interesting number that I thought was more of a number grab than someone that's in form was Andrew Novak at 80-1. I think everyone's on him this week. It makes tons of sense. He's played well at places like Harbour Town and the Zurich and things like that. So he's likely, if he finds his groove, he's one of the best players in this field. He was in Ryder Cup consideration, but kind of lost his energy towards the end of the year, which easily can happen. I don't think he's played in quite some time, so he's fresh as fuck. Let's see what Andrew Novak can do at 80-1 with 6 places. I've been betting these at Bet Rivers. They've seemed to have had the best numbers this week. Then another guy that I want to show you guys on the screen here is my 100-1 ticket. We saw some Chad Ramey situation coming in hot. I got a little profile for Chad Ramey over here in the player Discord, the Model Maniac Discord. If you take a look at his recent form, giving him 3 stars in that department. We got a second at the WWT Championship out in Mexico 2 starts ago. Missed the cut in Butterfield in epic fucking fashion. So he's back, rested, ready to rock and roll. Got a 33rd and a 30th in the last 5 starts as well. So some solid stuff there. The course history we're going to gloss over here. Those 3 miscuts, I'm not too concerned about, considering the way Chad Ramey's playing right now. He's checking a lot of boxes in the course fit model, the micro model over here. He's number 9th in that model. We saw that show up when I first did the boxes over there. A lot of the round the green play is going to do some good work for him on the longer holes. I think, the par 5s, you got to do that. If you're chipping too much here, you're not hitting enough greens, it's going to be a problem, but it does help to have a good short game to get out of some trouble at times. And he also grades out 16th in strokes gained off the tee for this course for me. I think he's going to be hitting a lot of fairways, getting tons of strokes over there. I think at this price, he's definitely going to be looking at something over there. And then I'm going to go with the top 20. He's my ladder play of the day. The Lindeque ladder play of the day is Chad Ramey. T20 at plus 320. So I'm just betting to win a unit here. You're laying a third of a unit to win a unit at plus 320. You're laying like 0.05 of a unit to win it at plus 700, So we're not risking a lot. We're kind of banking on his upside. If you do the each ways, you will also be looking at a top 5 at plus $1,600, plus 1,600, sorry, for a top 5 if you don't have him outright with each way. You can kind of look at it that way. Just taking a look at his little scorecard over here, you can see there's a lot of green when it comes to the short game department. He's doing a lot of work there, and he's, the green regulation rates and the approach play for him, not the greatest, but I think he's going to do some work for us in the short game and off the tee. So that's going to be that for Chad Ramey. Other guys that I've been looking at this week are Austin Eckert, 90-1. This guy's been ball striking the absolute crap out of it. He is the American Mathieu Pavon, right, Kenny? Have we discussed this with him as well? He just kind of, out of nowhere, he reminds me of like those squirrels with like all the nervous twitches and things like that's been, like you see in those like animations, the one squirrel that drinks like a Red Bull and is like walking around, he's like and twitching like crazy. That's what Austin Eckert reminds me about. He's got 2 wins on the PGA Tour. Twitchy motherfucker. So we're looking for that this week from Austin Eckert, 90-1, 6 places each way. Checks a lot of boxes for me in the micro model as well. He's up there in the top 20 for me, and he's 90-1. Then I'm going to be looking at Chris Kirk, friends. He is a winner of this tournament back in like 2013. So the recent course history, not necessarily the greatest, but we have got some great course history back in the day. Obviously a winner here, another top 4, and we've got a top 18 in one of the last 5 starts for him at this golf course. Recent form-wise, 5 stars for me. We are looking at Chris Kirk doing some wonderful stuff over here. T9 at the FedEx St. Jude, giving him 2 stars there. T5 at the Wyndham Championship. Amazing. T14 at the 3M, and then he's got a couple good finishes prior to these 5 where he almost finished top 10 at the Open, the US Open. So that's great to see. And then Chris Kirk is number 3 in my course fit model. So we're going to be looking at Chris Kirk doing wonderful things over here. We are looking at strokes gained approach, number 7 in this field, top 20 around the green, top 40 off the tee, top 40 putting, like everything he's needing to do. He's top 40 in this field. Going to take care of business for us, Chris Kirk at 35-1. All of these have places, 6 places or 5 places, depending on where we've bet them. And then our final bet over here this week is Pearson Coody. Recent form, amazing. We've got a T12 at the KFT Championship. We've got a T3 at the US Bank of Utah Championship over there at the Black Desert. We also have some fantastic course fit. Minimal course history here. Obviously, he's just been on the tour for 1 year, missed the cut last year. But course fit-wise, he's number 7 in my micro model. Around the green play, he's knocking things in non-stop, and he hits tons and tons of green in regulation. He's a very accurate driver of the golf ball. I think we can see Pearson Coody, gain tons of strokes. He's number 2 off the tee for me this week off the tee. I'm saying things over and over. My wife is busy calling me. We'll hopefully see that everything's okay there in between tiers. So those are my bets. Let's freaking go. They are, a little recap. Andrew Novak, 80-1. Chad Ramey, 100-1. Austin Eckert, 90-1. Chris Kirk, 35-1. And Pearson Coody, 45-1. Don't forget, we are going Chad Ramey down the ladder all the way to top 5 if you haven't bet him outright. 20, 10, top 5, all those odds going there.
My furnace crapped out. I got to replace it.
Oof.
It's not as bad as it's like $6K.
That's not that terrible then.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be much worse.
Like 20, yeah.
So $6K is not bad to replace the furnace. There's a hole in the heat expander, which can cause carbon monoxide poisoning.
No,
so I can't even.
No.
So it's
Duct tape.
That's what I'm wearing like thermal fucking underwear, like fucking in the house right now because I'm trying to get another number, but I might just go with the first one. It's 6,000 is not crazy.
Could be a lot worse.
It could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
I'd have paid $450 to get my gas tank fucking drained after I put the wrong gas in it.
Oh no.
Like this week, like last week that happened, and I'm back to the goddamn ship.
You have to use 93?
E85 is non-compatible with my vehicle. It's like sitting there right next to all the other fucking gas I can use. I wasn't even paying attention. I just fucking.
I didn't even know there was 85. Well, 87 was the lowest.
Yeah.
85 will fuck your life up, man. $450.
I've never even seen 85, I don't think.
I've only seen 87.
I've only seen 87.
The fuck are they doing in Iowa?
You're going with something. I don't even know what type of gas that is. It's like mostly corn oil.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's what it is. Fructose gasoline.
It's got to be like mostly ethanol, like 80% ethanol.
Anywho, we can start almost like 2 minutes ago, Mike. Anyway.
Yep.
DK pricing for this week's DFS Blood, Sweat, and Tears at the RSM Classic. We've got 3 guys: Harris English, Michael Thorbjornsen. And somebody explain to me what Siwoo Kim is doing in the $10,000 range. Please, Kenny Kim.
Yeah, I don't know. He sucks at this course. I'm not playing him. I'm playing Thorb. Thorb's my first cash game cornerstone at 10,200. And I am Thorb. He's the white rapper who does all the football shit. He was on Mayo show on Sunday. I did not catch it, but I might go back and watch it again because that dude, I'm always a fan of him. He's got some good rhymes.
Watcher of the show.
Yeah, watcher of the show. Yeah, so shout out to Thorb and shout out to Michael Thorbjornsen. He is my first cash game cornerstone. Again, easy courses. He's played well, success here in the past, yada, yada. We're going to go with him in the 10K.
Okay, cool. Not Harris English, who's got some solid course history here, who's played on the Ryder Cup. I'm cool with that at 10.5 as well. Thor doesn't necessarily grade out as well as I'd like, but between those two, you're really splitting hairs. I think you're going to have a little more upside from maybe Thor, a little more safety from Harris English. Also, why I'm saying that, that's probably going to be the complete opposite. But if I were to pick one of the 3, I'm going Harris English. If I were to not pick one, and I will not be playing Siwoo Kim, I don't know what the hell, especially at a course where you got to make tons of putts. This man is like 108 in this field in strokes gained putting. So I'm out on Siwoo Kim. Rico Hoey, also as bad as putting as Siwoo Kim, but might have found it with the broomstick at $9,800. Brian Harmon, JT Poston, Denny McCarthy, Thorbjorn Olesen, Daniel Berger, and Alex Smalley, all the way in the 9K range over here. Kenny Kim, where are we going in the 9s?
I mean, basically, I'm going Harmon. I like Brian Harmon here. I just, a major winner surrounded by guys who's never won before. Give me the major winner, right? Go ahead and give me him compared to everyone else around him who has never won an event ever in their lives. Give me Brian Harmon for the upside in that range. I don't even care about his stats. I think he's played well here in the past. It's just looking at that 9K range, his name just sticks out so much more compared to every other person in that range. I mean, it's not a Ben Griffin situation from a couple of weeks ago. It's not that situation, but like just in this range, like I can't go off. But I do also like Berger at 9,100 down here again, who grades out really well on easy courses. Runner up here last year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how popular he's going to be with him not playing the whole fall. I'm slightly worried about that. But whatever. I'm not worried enough where it's going to affect. It might affect like a tiebreaker, right? If I had 2 guys that I can't decide on, I'll probably go with the guy who's played the more fall events, who's compared to the guy who hasn't played any. That's probably what I go with. So I'm not too worried about it. But I do like Berger down here. I don't think he's going to be that popular. Smalley, again, is another guy we talked about who has some solid top 10s in the last few events that he's played. Again, I don't think he's going to be clicked very much either.
No, but he's played well, I think, in Mexico, where you have to make tons of birdies as well, but I just don't see him making tons of putts at this kind of a golf course. So I know he's playing well right now. I prefer him at like a true ball striker's paradise where you can just walk off with a par after hitting the green in regulation for Alex Smalley. I just do not trust him to make enough putts at this kind of price tag. So we'll leave him alone. I'm also out on Daniel Berger. Same qualm. I know the course history is there for him after last year, but I think he was kind of finding his groove. I don't know if he's putting as badly as he was this year. He also found his putter at some point. I mean, Daniel Berger, after so much time off, you never freaking know what could happen, but I'm out on him just based off long-term numbers. Brian Hartman checks out nicely for me, Kenny. Rico Hoey does some good work, and Michael Thorbjornsen. Those are my 3 guys in the 9K range. If I'm picking any of them, it's probably going to be Thor. I love that price tag at $9,200. Makes tons of sense in that situation.
He's 10.
Then one of my favorite.
Thorb.
What's up?
Thorb was 10-2.
9.
Oh, yeah, Thorb and Olsen. Gotcha.
Or here we go. The fucking Thors. They Spider-Manning us out of the world over here. But Thorbjorn Olesen, $9,200. Love what he can get up to at this kind of golf course. Just piecing it together across the board, all 4 strokes gain categories, Thor is doing some good work right now. $9,200 and playing good golf, playing really good golf. He's actually gaining, I think, that's Denny McCarthy, but Thorbjorn is gaining almost a stroke per round on the field, which is pretty impressive. But in the 8s, Kenny, I'm going to start off with my man, Chris Kirk, $8,900. I like him, obviously, in the outright market. Give me Chris Kirk. Give me his approach play. Give me around the green play. And just overall success at this golf course back in the 2010s. We're living on that course history. And then I also forgot to mention I'm betting Jake Knapp at 50-1. And we are leaning into a bit of a narrative where I think he grades out fantastically for me. He's 4th in the micro model. He's someone who just also lost his girlfriend in the off season. And that is a massive deal, man. Like, your mental stuff has to be in place to play good golf. And it's a concern, but it could also be the reason why he wins this week. I think when you're playing with emotion, you can be dialed in, but maybe playing with a broken heart is not as nice as like having lost your mom, or I don't know. I haven't, lost, thank God so far, people like that, but I can only imagine how it is to play with a heavy heart like that. But he is coming back to play, which likely means something. And he plays really good on these short positional courses. He hits that like mini driver, like goddamn savage, like 300 yards. So I love Jake Knapp, and at $8,800, he seems a little over expensive right now. Some bad course history, but I think at $8,800, he can win a golf tournament. He's won on the PGA Tour already, and he's contended. He's broke 60 on easy scoring condition courses. When you're putting well, man, Jake Knapp's one of those guys. So he's one of my sneaky plays this week as well. Really rooting for him. He's a great dude, and to lose your GF like that it's brutal stuff. So other guys you like in the 8K range, Kenny? Sorry to have a little dampener there.
My second Cascade Cornerstone is going to be Vince Whaley. All my bets are going to be my Cascade Cornerstones this week. Pretty easy. He doesn't miss many cuts. He's played well here in the past. He's coming in with good form. Pretty easy second click for your cash lineup, Vince Whaley. I like Bud Cauley down here at 8,000 flat. Probably one of the best in the field from 100 to 150 yards. You're going to see a lot of approaches in that range, and he is probably the best in the field from that range. He's had some good finishes here in the past. I think last year it was top 25, I think, might have been right around there. So, he's had familiarity with the course. I'm going to go ahead and I like him at 8. I'm going to go back to Nico at 81. I think a lot of people rostered him last week, and they got their butt hurt a little bit because he didn't play very well at all. Barely made the cut. Finished, 60 something, 50 something. Not a really good finish. Maybe that'll take people off of him this week. But again, a coastal track specialist, maybe at a little bit lower ownership than what we saw last week on another coastal track that he finished runner up to it last year. I'll go ahead and play some Nico.
Yeah, Kenny, I'm thinking I love this 8K range so much. I could almost go Chris Kirk, Jake Knapp, Vince Whaley, Pearson Coody, and see where that leads us. Just all 4 of those guys to start off with, I think make tons of sense. And it's a range I think I'm going to be living in a lot, because those 4 guys check too many boxes for me to give up on them. And then Michael Brennan at $8,400 as well is someone that we're still trying to figure out. Is this guy just like a Bomber's Paradise situation? His 5th win in the last couple months could be this week. You never freaking know. He's ultra talented. He can make putts. We saw him go super low around the Black Desert. He's got tons of length off the tee. Could be having a lot of wedges into these greens for people like that. So give me him. And then there's Matt Kuchar as well, friends. He's a perfect course fit with all these wedge plays we saw. He's one of the best wedge players in this field in the world, actually, Matt Kuchar is. So we'll see what he can do with the irons in his hand at $8,300. Diving into the 7s, Kenny Kim, there's a guy called Mackenzie Hughes who has a slew of top 10s at this golf course, and I think he's going to be one of my favorite plays in the 7K range. A course horse, he's gaining 1.3 strokes on the field every single time he's out here. So I think Mackenzie, looking at him hard, and I think he's going to do good things. Who else are you liking in the 7s at the top?
My hustler play of the week this week is going to be Sahith Theegala. he hasn't been playing great. His game has definitely been down. But a couple of things from last week where he's talking about, like, someone asked him, like, why are you playing these fall events? You're already guaranteed next year. Why are you playing? Because it's an honor and a privilege to play on the PGA Tour, any event. I thought that was a really cool thing to say. And then, he was basically out of the event, way over the cut line, going into Friday, not playing good golf. And guys can just sort of shut it down at that point in time. But instead he goes out there, birdies 5 of 6 on the back 9 to make the cut. So he can go on those birdie barrages. The talent is there. I want to get on him early. I liked what I saw on Friday from him, fighting and getting through that cut and doing it the way he did, just making putt after putt, birdie after birdie. So this is I don't think he's going to be highly owned. And I'm trying to get on him early, but I like Thigala this week as my hustler play of the week. And right underneath him is another sneaky play that I do like, is Matt Wallace. I think at 7,700, a guy who makes a ton of birdies, really solid putter. I just those two guys just have some feeling with when I saw them this week back-to-back bunched together in this price range. I like both of them a lot this week. But then we'll go to my cash game cornerstones to finish it out. Eric Cole at $7,600. Again, we talked about him. He's played well the last couple of times at this course. He's coming off, a solid finish a couple of weeks ago. The iron game is strong. He's gained like 10 strokes with his irons in the last couple of events. I do like Eric Cole a lot this week. The third cash game cornerstone. Final cash game cornerstone is going to be Seamus Power, who's had success here, a couple of top 10s back-to-back a few years ago, coming into the event with a solid finish last week. Plays ranked, I think, top 10 in my model when it comes to easy courses. So cash game cornerstones for this week are going to be Thor Bjornsson at 10,200, Vince Whaley at 8,700, Eric Cole at 7,600, Seamus Power at 7,600 as well. Other guys I do like in this 7K range, Doug Gim is going to be a guy. Like I said, I saw something last week with his putter, or, followed along with him with his putter. It looked like it was a little bit better. His ball striking is always solid. I'm going to play him. Sammy Valimaki, who was another guy who didn't really play very well last week, but was popular. I think he grades out well for me. Also, with the total amount of birdies he makes, his penchant for playing par threes pretty well. It's an easy way to get your birdie number up compared to other golfers because the par threes are always tougher. And so I like Sammy Valimaki. Ekbroth down here that you talked about, I really do like him. There's definitely some guys. Patrick Fishburne was one of my bets. Another guy who's really good on those short par fours. I think he's first in the field in par four efficiency from 400 to 450 yards. You're looking at like, I think 7 or 8 of the par threes are going to be from that range. So I like Fishburne.
I love that. Is that it, Kenny?
Yep.
For me, a couple more guys at the bottom of the 7K range. Mac Masner, Jesper Svensson. I think Jesper is really intriguing because he's one of these long hitters off the tee that's not super accurate, but he can absolutely dial it in when it comes to making sure that you just take care of business, hitting a 3-iron in the fairway. So he's got the distance to be able to do that around this golf course. So him and Mac Masner at the top there. Max McGreevy at $7,400. Checks number 14 in the course fit model. I mean, that's something you're always looking for from somebody. Hitting a lot of fairways, keeping the ball in play, can make some putts when he's feeling it. Spoke about Austin Eckroat, spoke about Chad Ramey at $7,200. Oh, our boy, Chris Ventura, 13th in the course fit model, $7,200. This man's going to be doing it all. The only thing he struggles with is strokes gained approach, but he hits like 40, a ton of greens. He's top 40 in green regulation rate. So he's going to have lots of birdie putts, which I'm cool about this week. I think birdie putt looks are way more important than hitting it kind of super close, if I do say so myself. We're going to need just option after option to make your putts. So give me him over there. And then Lee Hodges. he's got some good course fit stuff here too. The approach play looks fantastic for a course like this. The off the tee numbers are great. So he's making lots of sense. And then at $7,000 flat, I got Jackson Suba and Ben Silverman for you guys at those prices. Top 30 options in the course fit model at $7,000 are those two men. Kenny, 6K range. Then we're going to get the hell out of here. Who are you liking the sixes?
Taylor Montgomery at $6,900, makes a lot of birdies, makes a lot of putts, really good on short par fours. I like him at $6,900 this week. Adam Svensson's a former winner here. He's a guy that you could take a peek at $6,800. I like Zach Blair. He showed a little bit of form last week. I don't think he's going to be very highly owned. I think this is the type of course that'll suit him. He's not that long off the tee. He's a little bit more accurate, but he could putt his ass off when it comes down to it. So I like Zach Blair. Frankie Sappin, of course, we talked about. I mean, the form is just there. I could go back to him pretty easy. Who do you like in the 6K range?
Doc Redman at $6,500 is making a lot of sense for me from an approach standpoint. Not a lot of course, not a lot of reps on the PGA Tour the last little while, but we like that a lot from a short-term perspective. Nick Hardy and Lanto Griffin are two disgusting clicks at $6,600. But again, this is the last tournament of the full swing. We're in the 6K range. These names aren't going to be great, but they're both top 50 in the model fit. So give me these dudes, both good putters. You can see what they can do over there for us. And then Joel Damon has to play well this week in order to keep his status, I think. So $6,700, we could expect him to have some sort of emotional meltdown or magic. We will see what happens with Joel. And then David Lipsky. We did speak about guys that can just dial it in with the putters. He's the one dude that's going to dial in with the irons. He's been sensational, top 15 in this field on approach for this golf course, and then 33rd in fairway percentages. So he's going to have all his irons from the fairway. It's going to be really, really fun to watch him do his thing. Cool bananas, friends. Zach Blair is the last guy I did want to mention too, like with you there, Kenny. Great finish last week and did great out nicely. If last week was not nearly as windy, I'd say it's a great course comp to have for this week, but the conditions is no more chipping this week. I think everyone's going to be putting, versus trying to just hit the ball down the fairway 5 yards in the air for Adam Schenk. So that's awesome from us over here at the Fantasy Golf Degenerates. It's been an awesome year putting out the show for you guys as the first full year that I've done this. Second year with Kenny now. I think it was a fantastic year for the show. We really appreciate all of you guys that like and subscribe. Hit us up in the comments over there. We'll likely be doing a end of the year recap preview type thing sometime in December. Take a look at the Twitter feed at FG Degenerates. We don't say that too often out here. Catch me at the Model Maniac on X. I want to say thank you to Pat. I want to say thank you to Mike Baxter, our fantastic producer behind the scenes. This is the best produced golf podcast out there. A lot of places have probably better content on the screen as they're going live, but Mike polishes this turd at times to shine like the goddamn Taj Mahal. So we really appreciate you, Mike. If you are looking for a producer, he's a fantastic person to work with. And Kenny Kim, sir, thank you so much for a wonderful, wonderful year. Great time having you at the house for the golf trip and all of that. So we've had a good year. Our friendship continues to grow, and those are my thanks for this year.
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on X at KendoVT. It has been a great year. I'm looking forward to next year and the years to come. It should be a good time. We'll have some more shows probably before the end of the season. Like he said, go ahead and check out the X feed at FG Degenerates. Let's end it on a high note. Let's win some motherfucking money, Degen Nation.